Parse monkeys triggered. You like the name, Ben? This is episode 1.
I told you we would offend people. God. Anyways, okay, roll the intro. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Parse Monkeys podcast, episode 1. Today with your one true God, Lightwater. I think I'm touching him. Hold on.
You gotta come over. You gotta go.
Oh.
There, we'll meet up together. Meet me. Yep.
There we
go. You're very
with,
nice.
With your behind-the-scenes guy, editor, photoshopper, memer.
You know your job's important when memer's the third thing on
That's my official title. I am a meme lord of the second tier.
How much does the pay increase when you add meme lord to your resume?
Jesus! Hell yeah!
Jesus!
I need to make a WoW character called Kid Jesus.
Did you see the professionalism? Look, your name, my name, our name.
Wow!
Yeah. You know how long that took to make?
I love how the Parse Monkeys podcast is off-center. I love that. That's like my favorite part. I love it. Anyways, ignoring production quality.
He's a little cut off.
What I was talking about earlier, we need to get one of those little button hotkey things where you press the button. It's just a hot. It's like an extra set of hotkeys. So like when you're playing or like when we do something stupid, you hit it and then it'll show like a window screen.
Fuck. Someone has that on their stream and they have like this crazy discount for it. I want to say it was
PewDiePie does.
Yeah, PewDiePie had one, and so does S fans. So maybe we'll, spring for one of those. But I mean, they're like a lot of money. What the fuck is this? Well, you see,
it's nothing.
And
what is anything? Are we even existing? Like, the world is a strange place.
Off on the deep end there.
Anyways, let's get right into the first topic. So Brian, this week,
that's me.
Amidst all of his parse calculations, found we have some site errors.
Oh, well, I guess you just can't trust anything these days. But WoW database and Wowhead are both shit. They didn't factor in any of their calculations in their spell power coefficients, so I have to redo them all. And there's like all these like random hidden plus like 40% things. It's essentially another template on top of a class spec that applies to like some spells but not others. And so I'm having to literally go in game, cast a spell, check my intellect, see what percent of it is, check the website, see if it's right. It's right like 60% of the time. Then write that down. If it's not right, figure out what it actually is. Usually it's 40% increase. It's cancer.
Yeah, and that's not just annoying for you, but that means that all the documentation we have, we need to go through and edit all of that.
Yep.
Too, which was a bitch to even like get
make in the first place.
In the first place, yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably another hour to every single class worth of work at least, and that's if I book it. And then we're not done with Disc Priest because that's the hardest one. So I probably have another 5 hours to work on Disc Priest, another hour on all the videos, and then I have to actually make the last 2 videos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because we don't even have Resto Druid prepared, right? Oh wait, do we have the videos for Resto, right?
Resto Druid's done.
Okay. So Resto Druid should go up today or tomorrow. Since we just put up Mistweaver yesterday.
Or depending on how big the changes are, we might re-record it.
Do you want me to hold off on Druid?
It's like a 30-minute just like waste. But yeah, I guess so. What if the modifiers only apply to certain things, they don't apply to other things, it changes the build entirely.
Yeah.
And I just like it's just so dumb. But this is the final piece of the puzzle. I really do believe like this is you ever get that feeling when you're almost happy when you fuck up because okay, cool, like that's the one fuck up. Now we don't have any more. There's not any more, right?
Yeah,
like that's the only curveball Blizzard had left in their like that's the only card they had left in their deck, dude. I've discovered the rest of the deck.
Yeah, we're on phase 3. We've wiped 100 times.
Yeah.
We're about to get the kill.
I don't know much about coding, but it seems to me like a bad idea to have a random template on top of all of your character classes that gives a random bonus to certain spells. And they like got lazy with the writing, so like there's like a template that increases like storm strike damage as a resto druid.
I mean, this just further enforces the fact that they have spaghetti code running like for the entirety, and nothing else really changes over time. Yo, what's up, DJ? That's my boy, dude. DJ.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Like shit. Like supposedly everything that they've done so far, like there's code from back in vanilla that still.
Yeah. It's weird to me that, okay, so for example, with Disc Priest, any spell that has the word heal in it got its modifier increased by 40%, but this isn't reflected in the data mines from sites. So it's like, this is only reflected when you actually played the game. So like, and this doesn't show up for shields, mind you, which are supposed to be considered heals. So Power Word Shield, no 40% buff. Shadow Mend, 40% buff. Makes no sense. It's like I have to go through, and so each one of these modifiers, I literally go into my calculator after I find out that it has it, and I go, cool. Yeah. Old number plus 40%, new number, erase what was old, new number. Like it sounds easier than it is, but like I have to actually test it in game, and now I'm paranoid, right? Wait, oh yeah, we can hear that. That's good, huh?
No Taco Bell. There's no Taco Bell.
Had your window open?
Yeah, well, it's a nice summer. My weather's actually nice here. So
I'm getting shit for the fucking title being slightly off center, and you have your window open with Mexicans mowing lawns.
Oh, you want to compare? Look at my background versus yours.
What?
Exactly.
This is where I live. Look, you got Bane. Scarlett Johansson.
You have a whole. Look at the closet. Look at the closet. The closet is what people are angry about.
It's a nice closet. Look, there's some good shit here. Look, Death Watch. All right. If any of you Warhammer 40K fans out there.
Here. Anyways,
we got some cologne.
We have to basically redo all the shit that we did. Which, by the way, I wanted to tell you, stop. We need to stop doing shit in fucking Notepad. We need to just do everything in Google Drive, because the way that.
Oh shit! Sorry, Grandpa served a nom, so it's in my blood.
Anyways, yeah, you need to start doing shit in Drive, so it makes it a lot easier going forward for editing values. So, like, if anything else like that happens, we can just go into Drive and change it manually without having to.
I mean, I asked you. Well, in the future, we'll do that. Once they're all done, we'll do that, and that'll be so easy. And then that way, when patches come out, I'll hit it before the patch even goes live, and then we'll make a video and we'll talk about the changes. It'll be that easy.
Yeah. Which leads into the next part of the podcast, which is the weekly summary on all the healers that we've done so far. So, me and Brian, obviously, we like to heal, we like to parse, we like to stand and shit. So let's go down the list.
Good. I like that.
Different healers. So the one I want to start off with is Holy Paladin. Oh, and my biggest mistake this week, and forgetting that this doesn't work in 5-mans. The initial placement of spells on my fucking voodoo. So
Jesus Christ, and not another one.
I'm just gonna start muting my mic.
Safe. Okay, we're good.
So I ran a 5-man this week. I did a 15 on 206 item level, right? And I had
not very high. That's not very high.
Yeah. And I had Martyr on my right click, right, and Holy Light on the left click.
Oh no! You kill yourself? Well, some silent dapping? Oh no! Not another attack. Thank you.
So this week was Grievous, and what's the one that just makes him stronger?
Bolstering or what?
I think it was bolstering, and we did an Arcway, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't an Arcway. We did a Maw 15. I got fucked. Not only because I was using Martyr as my emergency heal rather than Flash of Light.
Or Holy Shock.
Well, no, I mean you have downtime between Holy Shocks though, so you're not always going to get them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're going to use Flashlight for 5-man because it's just a faster heal.
You have to.
Yeah, and it's an emergency heal. But it was so good because I went and I bought the helmet, the legendary helmet. Oh my fucking god, dude! I didn't believe you, but holy shit, I was wingsing like almost the entire time throughout the.
I never thought I would, in my lifetime, get to experience the disappointment of being unable to activate my wings cooldown because my free wings have been up for like too long, and the button's just sitting on the screen. And so I had to rewrite the weak order to where it would disappear if it detected the buff. So, because it's literally just up 24/7.
Dude, it is crazy. Like, so before I had the helmet on, right? I would wings first, like when the raid would start, and then start trying to spam my spells.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a huge difference. Like that helmet makes like a fuck ton of difference to the point where it's almost all the time where it's just constantly up, and you can literally heal anything.
I'm listening. Just being bombarded by monkeys. Hello.
That's the wrong kind of monkey, Brian.
What do you want?
Still know how to.
Is this our first podcast guest, Brian? Can't hear. Anyways, Holy Paladin is a fucking god. You can heal. Yeah, I could probably heal 16 at 210 item level.
What about it?
You need to have like a tech support break.
Should be good here pretty soon, okay? There you go, it works. Okay, I gotta go. Yeah, I'm recording. Come on, bye-bye. Oh, I didn't have it. Did I not have it muted?
Are they gone?
They're lingering. Okay, bye. I love you.
I don't want to.
I have no idea what you said, but I love you.
What's that?
What's that? That's a Benji. Well,
no,
it's kind of fake. Sometimes he can be a little fake, but you know, I'd say he's real for the most
part. Dude, but I for right now, Holy Paladin seems to be the definitive healer for 5 months.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I say unfortunately because what that means is it's not because I hate Holy Paladins. I want to see them suffer. It's because if they're winning, that means we are still in a HBS culture for 5 mans, where HBS over anything matters. Like where no decisions to use mana, like conservation. You know, like I don't know how to word it. Essentially, we're fake. We're not like you wouldn't be able to run Binding Heal as a Holy Priest, and you won't be able to Holy Light spam as a Paladin. You know, you should be using Holy Light like 70-80% of the time, and then Flash Heal should be used for, I don't know, emergencies, like it says in the description, right? Heal on the Holy Priest, it says it's your main spell, but yet you never use it because it's too slow, and someone could die in 2 seconds. Like, essentially, you know, I've been on this. I complain about this all the time, but the health pools are moving too fast, and that's why Holy Paladins are so popular right now. But I feel like if it was more about raw throughput and 5 mans, Holy Paladins would actually be one of the worst healers. Maybe just barely beating Shamans, honestly.
You really think so? Because like we have a hard time using up our mana pool with this standard build that we have. It's
not because I think you guys would go if you're playing correctly. I just think that there wouldn't be enough consistent HPS going out. Like you can only Light of Dawn so many people, right? Like you can only like.
Yeah,
I think they'd be okay. Like I said, I think they'd be okay. And with our build, they'd be a lot better. But back in the day, they definitely suffered a lot more. And the only reason, like they were in Legion, they were the worst in the very beginning. They actually were the worst healers.
Yeah.
In 5 mans, and then they became the best healers. So what changed? Well, the Paladins didn't change. It's the way healing changed. So we went from needing 20 heals to top the tank to one-shotting him with 1 heal. Like literally that drastic of a change. And so now we're kind of like in this weird spot where you need 5 heals.
But are you sure that wasn't just because we just got enough crit at that point?
Oh no,
to be able to hit a holy shock that was that hard.
Oh, it was a combination of so many things. We got so many more secondary stats, so much more primary stat, so many more random. Just here you played for a while. Here's some extra bonuses, right? 152 points in concordance. Here's a free 10%. Here's a free 15%. Here's this. Here's that. You know, it's just like they threw so many things at us, right? And so eventually, at the end of the expansion, the tank walks in. He doesn't have all those extra stamina modifiers that we have for intellect. So we go in, we one-shot his health pool rapidly, right? And so that's why Holy Paladins were doing so good, because all of their heals are instant and really, really powerful. And so when you watch the MDI, the health pools of the entire squad, when they pop the Quadra Beacon, it's like everyone goes like this, and then next trash back. They literally kill everything in like 8 seconds. Like it's so stupid.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, and it's like insane that how I don't know. Like we'll see when the like actual final patch like hits.
Yeah,
but
my theory
in terms of like five man at least in the start, like I should have no problem.
This is my theory. I think it's not going to be as bad as where Legion ended ever. I don't think it'll ever get as bad as Legion, but I don't think it'll ever start as good as Legion. I think our power creep is gonna feel so unnoticeable. Actually, I think we're gonna kind of start powerful and then end like a little bit more powerful, and that's it. I really don't think we're gonna, because this is actually a really good topic. We should talk about the Azerite armor right now. This is a good transition.
We should do that for a video.
We could, but I mean,
we'll just summarize all the healers.
Well, this is important to mention. Okay, going into the new expansion, you're gonna have the 3 pieces of Azerite armor. The Azerite armor does not have secondary stats. It also just has a primary stat and can't Titan Forge or Warforge. So what does that mean? That means it essentially means nothing, because if it's just another primary stat stick with no actual stats on it besides just your primary and not that much of it, WoW lore. We haven't even talked about anything WoW lore. I don't know anything about the lore of the game. Anyways, my point is, they're essentially going to be useless pieces of gear, and it's worth mentioning that it's your headpiece, your shoulder piece, and your chest piece, which are your 3 highest stat pieces on your character. So they took the 3 best pieces of your gear and said, these don't mean anything. They also made it to where your weapon can't Titan Forge, which is going to be your primary way of getting power. So if your weapon can't Titan Forge, your other 3 highest pieces of gear can't Titan Forge. They can't Warforge. They don't have secondary stats. Your growth as a character is going to be very flat.
Yeah.
We're not going to see this like up like craziness going on, right? And because we don't have an artifact weapon giving us artificial power, like all this like synthetic power where it's just plus X this, plus X that. Like every single one of your healing abilities from the artifact weapon had like plus 16% for just because. Fuck it. Yeah. And you had all those extra passives, and then just from putting a point into like the 4 circle one, you got like 15% increased healing. We don't have that, so I think it's gonna be pretty fun when we come into it. I think we will need a decent amount of heals to top the tank and heal the rest of the team.
It's like they're stripping all those extra bonuses and trying to kind of rebuild everything from the ground up.
But I don't think it's gonna be nearly as bad or as good. I mean, some people would say bad. I say good as Legion, where I needed 20 fucking flash heals to top Wildpaw. Our tank, and my Holy Word Serenity would only crit him for like a third of his health, and I thought that's really good.
Yeah. Speaking of Holy Word Serenity, now moving on to the next healer.
Okay, my bad.
Holy Priest. So as you know, I barely picked up Holy Priest's expansion, and me and Brian have learned that if you have 2 Holy Priests, it basically equals infinite mana, and no one ever dies.
Oh, what is this? Oh, we've been hosted.
Hell yeah!
By you. What did just now ping?
I don't know why I just thought
what's Benji's logs? Question mark, exclamation mark. Yeah, we don't talk about those, okay?
We don't talk about those. Hey, no lie, like because last expansion, Legion was my first expansion ever in WoW. And I was able to mythic raid. I had decent I had like what's the one below like the very top one? The blue
you had middle of the pack.
Yeah, I was all right. I was
middle
of the pack. So, I lacked mechanics so bad. So I'm hoping, like, my goal for this, is to at least be on 1 fight where I'm in the 99.
I would actually say, so you came into World of Warcraft with 0 prior experience, maybe only 3 weeks of being able to play the game, 4 weeks of being able to play the game, and they brought you into Mythic. I don't actually know how many people in the world have ever done that before, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's under 100. Seriously, there's very few people that you can just bring to the game.
Why Brian
I've never played it.
And if people want to get better, we have available rates right here.
Oh, do we? What are our rates again, Benji?
2-liter
Mountain Dew.
To that.
I require a 2-liter of Mountain Dew and a verbal blowjob.
Which I want to pitch you this idea at the end of the podcast. So don't let me remind myself.
Anyways, my point was your mechanics were actually pretty solid, and I think the help that I gave you let you be middle of the pack healer, which was in my opinion insane. And I think you did pretty good.
But regardless, Holy Priest has been a joy to kill on in raid. I think that thing's gonna suck shit in 5-mans, man, because
that's what everybody's saying.
But the movement, the movement is the biggest issue, though.
Yeah.
Like the amount of mechanics that not only gets like imagine having volcanic, and then you have teaming, and then some like maybe bolstering, or
I think
even
the worst part is your defensive row is also in the same row as your movement row in talents.
Yeah.
So you have to choose between, okay, do I want like 10% DR? Do I want like constant desperate prayers? Or do I actually want to move faster at one point in my life? They don't have a blink. They don't have a gap closer. And I'm not sure, but Rusev could actually answer this question for us. Is the feather on the GCD? Or is it off the GCD? I'm pretty sure it's on the GCD. So your only like movement ability you have to waste a GCD for, and you have to place on the ground below your feet, and then you have to like move out of stuff. And we don't really have any heals on the.
It is on the GCD.
Yeah, and then we don't have any heals really for mobility. So in a 5-man where everyone's dying, you have to dodge a mechanic. It's like, oh, let me stop healing, put this feather on the ground. Now I'm faster. I dodged a mechanic. Whole time I'm not healing. I guess I could throw a renew out, but whatever. Renew doesn't do anything. And then you get back to your spot and you're like, yeah, I can finally spam again. Oh wait, they're dead.
Yeah, right? It's like, almost like you have to save your Serenities and Renews and not cast them at all, and only use them when you're moving.
Yeah, when you get pinched.
If you're really gonna try that, you would have to save all your instants, purely for movement, which means that you can't use some of your really good spells, which proc salvation off of the cooldown. So it's like it's possible, but it's just a lot harder.
If the 5-man started like they did in Legion, then Holy Priest would be the best. But I don't think they're going to start like Legion. I think the health pools are going to go down a lot faster in the very beginning. So I think you're not going to be able to run Binding Heal on a 5-man and when you're 120. And also, you're probably going to have to run Flash Heal Surge of Light, which is significantly worse than it was in Legion, because you don't have the 20% increased healing when you get a critical strike. There's a lot of things that like Flash Heal gave you before. I'm mixing up my heals, dude. I don't really know if it's gonna be the best spamming build. Like, I don't know. I guess you could like try to save like your Surge of Light procs for like movement, but that's kind of like hard. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, whatever. You're probably almost gonna have to run Feather. It's gonna really depend on what dungeon you're in. But yeah, their lack of mobility is gonna get them. Their big raid cooldown is not very useful in a 5-man. Mm-hmm. And their other alternatives are Apotheosis, which is an okay choice, or the increased reduction on the Holy Words, which is nice.
It's unfortunate that Holy Word Salvation is like probably the best raid, like for your cooldowns. It's probably the best one for a 5-man because it doesn't need a channel. Well, it does need a channel, but once it's done, it's done. It just pops the heal. Yeah. But it's 12-minute cooldown, and you need your channeled abilities to reduce. Like it's just.
And then you have to give either Apotheosis or reduced cooldown on your Holy Words. So it's like, I guess in theory you could choose one of all three of the last talents for a 5-man, but they all kind of feel lackluster. Yeah. We'll have to see. I mean, if the healing is a lot slower, then I think Holy Priest will be just fine. But if we're getting the ping pong health pools, then yeah, it's gonna be Paladin, I think, and Monk, personally.
Yeah, for sure. Which and then let's go ahead and go into the next healer, which is Disc Priest.
Well, wait. Let's talk about Holy Priest just real quick for raid. Raid, I think they're the strongest class.
Yeah, honestly. For sure, hands down. And
it's just so much healing, and we're literally here for the parses, so like that's what we're obsessed about. But even outside of the healing, I mean, before they had a raid cooldown issue, that's gone. They got 2 more raid cooldowns, one that restores mana and one that literally one-shots the entire raid to full health. The strongest cooldown in the game.
And arguably, if you hit Salvation with Halo, right? That's the combo. Like remember we were double haloing and we would top the raid off easy.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine why Disc is doing good, but we could get to that later. Yeah. But yeah, no, Holy just feels really, really stable, and I mean, even if they're like tied with Disc, I think they would still be considered better because they're going to restore mana back to the raid, maybe once or twice over the course of the fight. I don't know, they just seem really solid. I don't know if I'd want more than one Holy in a raid, though, because they probably overwrite themselves a lot. But the one thing Holy cannot do, there's 2 weaknesses, movement and single target healing. Because they have to run Binding Heal, and if you don't run Binding Heal, honestly, you're just stupid.
Yeah, pretty much bomb healing. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to Disc Priest, who I tried out. I hated it. I mean, it's definitely not a class for people that are kind of new to
first
healing
time, at all.
Yeah, because there's like an actual like it's a rotation, and it's a rotation you need to kind of have memorized in terms of like what all the cooldowns are, because when you're spamming those words shields, you have to fucking make sure that you're dealing out damage, which then applies the heal to all your shielded targets. And but I could honestly see if someone has the class down, like if they have, which I'm sure these people exist, like they have all the cooldowns memorized by heart, they'll make Disc Priest look really, 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 really good. Yeah, exactly. Keeping up the dots. And
I mean, the thing is, from what I've
ultimate ability that they have, the what is it? The shield that applies to everybody in the raid. Yeah, that thing's fucking ridiculous.
That's honestly the only easy part of their kit. Like if you do take that talent, and ironically I did some tier crafting, and it's actually not gonna be the best one, which really sucks, because it's about the only easy fucking thing on the class, and I just proved that there's so you're probably gonna take evangelism.
Hey,
Bruce guessed it. And so the reason is you can line a lot of things up with it. So what you can do is you can evangelism. If you're really good with disc, okay, you'll have a blast and raid, but it's just so not worth it in my opinion. It requires like 180 IQ, and there's like,
dude, I'm only at 91 IQ, man. I cannot do those 200 IQ disc.
I'm dragging ass.
Dude, I can only imagine being Disc Priest in the Mythic plus 15. Holy shit! Like you must be god tier.
I feel like that would be a lot of fun, and maybe when I get more when I get farther into the tier crafting, I'll definitely think about how they would do a 5-man. But right now I'm just raid focused. Okay, anyways, so I was gonna talk about the combo. Okay, so there's this complicated combo you can do. You go double Word of Radiance, so you essentially get 10 people covered with the atonement for 9 seconds. Then you evangelism, so you add 6 seconds to that. You have to pay for the GCD, but essentially it still equals like 4.5 seconds. So now everybody's got like 13 seconds of atonement on them. Then you schism the boss, so you get a 40% damage increase. So now your damage is going to heal literally 10 people in the raid, probably 12 because you had a couple spells up before. Like 12 people of the raid are now going to heal for 60% of all damage you do. You're going to increase the damage you do to the boss by 40%, and then you copy all of that to each single person. Stupid broken right now. Yeah, that's the only reason why they're doing good. See, Schism was bad, and then they buffed it, and now it's too good. And it has a 24-second cooldown, so it lines up pretty well with some other things. Like, what you can do is you can actually Schism and then Halo, and that's actually a pretty solid combo after you do double Radiance. But yeah, so just a double Radiance combo with like Shadow Fiend and Schism and Evangelism was something like it was basically the same healing as hitting Holy Word Salvation, like, but in a 6-second window.
That's fucking crazy.
In a 6-second window, like, it's unreal. Yeah, and I found, I mean, I'm still in the preliminaries, but I found that like Penance really wasn't that good. Surprisingly, and that Smite's actually like really, really mana efficient. So I think outside of this sick combo, they're just gonna kind of just be a spot healer and just make sure to save the idiots, and then just kind of spam Smite and stuff. That's my guess, but I can't figure it out for sure. They're gonna get like a little mini burst phase where they'll probably be able to do the Schism. That's not the big Schism, and so for like 7 seconds they'll also have like a huge burst of healing. Which they can line up probably with another Radiance. But it seems like, honestly, you know what it reminds me of? It feels like Resto Druid, whose whole point of essentially being is every minute and a half to have these crazy flourish combos. Where, like, one flourish combo is Tranquility followed by Wild Growth followed by Flourish, and then it's like, everyone's got Hots forever. The other combo is like 10 rejuves and then then Wild Growth, Flourish, and then you cast nothing but regrowth with like 10 abundance stacks up for like, and that's basically the same healing as like Holy Word Salvation. So it seems like everybody's got a more complicated, harder Holy Word Salvation that they can pull off. But ultimately, like, Holy Priest just feels like the wheelchair class. Like, everybody else has to do like a 10 spell combo into a cooldown, into another cooldown, into this cooldown, into switching to this type of spell, and then the same healing as Salvation.
Yeah, let me show you how to play a Holy Priest, you go.
That's pretty good. That's pretty solid.
I know, dude. APM OP.
Now for Disc Priest and 5-mans, I've got no clue yet, but apparently they're okay. I tried playing one, but that was before I really even knew anything about it recently. So it was pretty shit. I was trying to like Holy Nova an entire instance and heal everybody with it, and it was kind of funny, but it didn't really work. There's a lot of damage right now in beta. That's why they're looking so good. Yeah. They definitely they have a passive just randomly baked into the kit that just increases smite damage by 50%. Seems kind of weird. I don't know why that's not just baked into the coefficient of the spell itself. It's so fucking annoying that they include these passives. But whatever.
Yeah.
And they have.
Speaking of saving idiots, let's go on to Mistweaver Monk.
A good transition.
I started healing on as well, and
just when you thought Holy Priest was easy.
Yeah, if you thought Holy Priest was easy, definitely Mistweaver Monk is easier. It feels pretty good. Yeah. I don't know. They just need to be strong. Like overall, they just need to be stronger.
They're not gonna ever win logs, but
yeah,
they're probably the most satisfying healer I've played in a while. It's like, when's the last time you played a healer when you actually clicked on the people that were low health and then you noticed that you actually brought them up to full health? It's so rare.
Time, yeah.
It's so rare. It's like, but they don't have any other healing besides single target. Like their AoE healing is a trap. You actually don't cast Vivify and Renewing Mist. It's an absolute trap. I've done the math. It's terrible. You have to do that for 5-mans, but for raid, don't. Just Soothing Mist and Enveloping Mist and take Mist Wrap. It's just so much better. And all you do is you Soothing Mist and you Enveloping Mist, and the target will go to full health in those 7 seconds, basically. And that's it. That's the combo. It's 2 spells. And then you just take... What's that talent that makes Essence Font stack up when you don't use it? And so you have this...
It's Overflowing Essence or something like that. It's like the middle one.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. It's like Upwelling.
Upwelling, yeah.
Yeah. Upwelling, yeah. And so essentially when you get 18 stacks on that puppy, it channels for 6 seconds. And so that's a great heal while moving. So they're going to be really good for like moving mechanics that do a lot of damage to the raid. And that thing does so much healing. It's like half of their revival. So I'm really liking their mobility because essentially... they can roll, instantly start a Soothing, Enveloping, and that person's going to get topped because their mastery is insane. The class is looking a lot better because of their mastery. Now their mastery actually procs on average twice during one Soothing Mist. It's a completely different, honestly, feel to the entire class.
Yeah, and it's a class that I'm actually like I enjoy playing it. Like when I go to my login screen, I'm like, like what do I want to heal on today? Like like Mistweaver or something like I actually consider like clicking on and actually playing with it, and I enjoy it. And I feel like it's going to be a good healer that feels like a niche where like you're raiding and you're like, we need a Mistweaver.
Let me put it this way: your ability to save retards is so high that you can actually save people in LFR from the beam on Korgath or whatever that boss is called, King Korgath. Like I watched them go into the beam, identified who it was, and I Soothing Enveloping them, and I healed them through the beam. Yeah, King Garath. There we go, or King Garath. Like. I've never been able to do that on any other healer. No other healer has that single target healing. Like, yeah. I healed a Demon Hunter DPS because both of the tanks died through LFR. Like, it was no problem. It didn't cost me any mana. I just left-clicked, right-clicked, and sat for 7 seconds as I watched his health go. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
So if this priest is 200 IQ, Mistweaver is like 81 IQ.
Yeah, they're dragging the dirt, dude. 50. 50 at the entry level. 70 to cap out. Like 70 to remember to use your AoE healing during an AoE healing phase.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go on to something Brian is very passionate about and that he loves, which is shaman healing. Resto shaman. Brian, you have the floor.
There's only so many healers. I should have seen this from Process of Elimination. I was very excited. I was like, ooh, who's it gonna be?
I debated you.
I got pretty debated hard.
Anyways, let's talk about how great Healing Tide Totem is, Brian.
Oh yeah. I watched a couple of videos and everybody's used the term pure raw dirty throughput heal cooldown. And I was like, that's a really interesting way of putting describing the weakest cooldown in the game right now. It is the weakest one. It doesn't do anything. A Healing Tide does less healing than one of their heals to every single person in the raid. So it's as if they cast like a baby version of Healing Wave to every person at one time. Like, ooh, whoop-de-doo, dude. That's great. Yeah. Another thing, they can't really combo cooldowns anymore, right? So they don't have AG, which was kind of the reason you brought them, was to counter certain moments, right?
Yeah.
I'm struggling to see where shamans are going to work. Oh, all right. Here, this is fun. So I did the theory crafting. Every single spell in the base shaman spellbook, so you know all the spells that you get normally, are garbage. You take every single spell in the talent tree, and you cast only those, and that's it. None of their
it is a shelved class. Like
they don't have any spell that breaks over 100 efficiency, so that's 100% of your intellect per 1% mana spent from their original spellbook, except for like a really good healing rain and a an unleash life up like healing wave that's about the best thing that gets really high on the efficiency. It's so fucking sad. Like, to put it in perspective, Holy Priest binding heal at like 150 efficiency. And shamans don't have a single fucking thing in their base spellbook that's over 100. Like, what are you supposed to do? Now, the only saving grace from a shaman is all the AoE talents they can spec into in their talent tree. So they're gonna literally only survive through things like what's that dumb tidal wave spell? The other one that's just basically their artifact weapon, like unleash life into like I guess a 45% increased healing wave. Earthen shield totem. That thing's gonna do a lot of work for them. Like all these like cooldowns that are like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, it leaves so much dead time up on your shaman, and you don't want to do anything else because you can't afford the mana for anything else. So it's like you cast your spell. I think it was like you take like 6 spells from the talent tree, and then you only cast Healing Rain and Healing Stream Totem from your book. So you have 8 weak auras up on your screen that are all cooldowns, and you identify which one of them is up, and then you hit the button to make it go away. And that's how you play. And you don't have a single target heal that's worth throwing. So you're literally a pure AoE healing class.
Damn.
And since you're all based around your mastery, the only skill ceiling is how well can you snipe the healing from the rest of the better healers. And that's Resto Shaman in a nutshell.
Well, I can see his brain is starting to, fry a bit. So let's move on to something more satisfying, which is Restoration Druid. Which
Yay!
I haven't actually gotten to try out much myself because I'm leveling a Druid from 1 to max level, which I'm on level 30 now.
I think they're going to be the second best raid healer.
Yeah, they seem pretty fun. Yeah.
However, I will say this: I think they're gonna have the biggest gap in skill performance. So let's say the best Resto Druid is putting out the same raw HPS as the best Holy Priest. The worst Holy Priest is going to do significantly more than the worst Druid. Like, you can fuck up Resto Druid so easily. There's actually some spells that you cast under almost no circumstance. So you're only allowed to cast Wild Growth in a raid 4 times. That is actually 3 fingers. This is 4. That's good. That's 4. All right, you're only allowed to cast it 4 times, and if you're smart, you're probably thinking, why only 4 times? Well, you take Flourish. And you only use 1 Wild Growth before every Flourish. And if you ever push the button other than that, you're actually retarded because it does no healing. And it's really bad. Really, really bad. Flourish increases its duration by 8 seconds and doubles the healing while it's active. So it basically triples or quadras the amount of healing the Wild Growth is doing, therefore making it finally mana efficient. Finally. You only had to increase it 4 times, huh? Oh, that's it. And then what you're going to be doing with the rest of your life is you're just going to take advantage of your mastery because your mastery is broken as shit. So you're going to use cultivation, and you're just going to go around and give a person... You're going to use abundance. That's the main play style here. So regrowth is going to be half your spells. So you're going to rejuve a target and then give them a regrowth. And so you take advantage of the cultivation hot, the rejuve hot, and then you hit them with the boom, the big regrowth. And then they have their 3 hots, and you say, okay, good luck. I'll let the rest of you healers take over if they're still hurt, because I can't waste efficiency, and I'm going to go on to the next target. So, because recasting the 3rd regrowth is not mana efficient at all. That's the build. It's literally alternating. It's similar to the monk, right? Remember the monk? Left click, right click. Similar. Left click, right click. Rejuve, regrowth, next target. Rejuve, regrowth, next target. Rejuve, regrowth. And you're actually going to do the same healing as a holy priest. They're actually really strong right now. And every minute and a half, you're going to have these huge flourish phases, right? And every other flourish will be a flourish off the back of a tranquility, because tranquility now puts a hot on the entire raid instead of just healing. That's huge, because your mastery on average is 20%. They basically buff tranquility by 20%. Yeah, and it was already a really strong cooldown. And so because you can flourish off of a tranquility, you essentially increase the power of tranquility by like 2 times.
Yeah.
So like these are going to be the dirtiest tranks of your life. And they're going to keep on giving. Like the hot's going to last for 16 seconds after your tranquility. So 16 seconds of having another hot in the entire raid. I should probably stop shaking the desk.
Yeah.
I was getting excited. Sorry.
Like, oh, tranquility. Oh, yeah.
Means that essentially you have 20% increased healing for the next 16 seconds because everybody has a hot that you don't normally have. That combined with Spring Blossoms means all the melee and the tanks probably have another hot. So there's another 20%. So 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. Big daddy ass fucking regrowth. Right? And it's just gonna hit really fucking hard. I mean, and it's gonna crit. It's pretty much gonna guarantee crit because of abundance. So you're gonna get a critted up, like 100% increased regrowth. It's gonna feel good.
Damn.
And
I can't wait to get my druids max. Start doing some badass shit.
Yeah. Now, when I was talking about the bad resto druids, it's people that rejuve targets above 60%.
Ooh,
and then only rejuve or only regrowth, and you'll probably do about a third of what like I could do on a resto druid. Which is cool. I like tripling bad resto druids. Can't wait to see resto druids.
More followers, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But okay, let's go ahead because we got 2 more topics to hit. Let's go ahead and rank the healers really quick. Go ahead and type them in on the screen. Show them where we have them ranked.
I have to type.
Yeah, you added text.
Yeah.
To the fucking thing.
That took a while.
A quick list.
A quick list. There's no more room left on the screen.
Never mind. I'll show them how to do it. Production value, by the way. Anyways.
How about we just tell them what it is?
Whatever. Okay, go. Number 1.
All right, this is for raid healing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're just talking about throughput.
Quick. Number 1.
Holy Priest.
2.
Resto Druid.
3.
Is Priest?
4.
Holy Paladin.
5.
Monk.
6.
Shaman.
Cool. Anyways.
Mm-hmm. Now we gotta talk about 5-man.
Okay, go. 1.
Probably Holy Paladin. I'd say Mistweaver. Resto Druid. Holy Priest. Wait. Oh, I'd probably put Disc tied with them. And then last in both places, Shaman. That's what I know for sure.
That doesn't even exist to us right now.
You know what, Blizzard? Okay, we should mention this. Blizzard literally said all Shaman class, like all specs, are fucked, and they don't know what to do with it, so they're shelving it until they can figure out what they're gonna do with it later, next patch.
I heard they're doing that to Shadow Priest too.
Yeah, Shadow Priest too. They were like, this is fucked. We don't know how to fix it. So good luck.
Which is interesting that they're doing that, because this coincides with our last 2 topics, which might as well fucking combine them because they kind of coincide. But people returning to WoW and then WoW Classic. So
yeah, I have been noticing a lot of people.
As we've seen, WoW is about to like probably hit record numbers that it's had,
which is crazy.
Years.
Yeah.
Because you have people like XQC and Dyrus, smaller streamers who
and
don't
Shorty Guy
playing. Yeah, Shorty Guy. And these people, they're playing pre-patch.
Yeah.
They're grinding here when it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, they're playing the game right now when it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
They're doing all this shit. They're still retaining a decent. To have 5K in the WoW section is impressive.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you're a long-standing person in the Twitch community, like people aren't really gonna watch you. The fact that these streamers can actually, Dyrus is pulling a 4K stream when he plays WoW.
What I've noticed is these streamers who stream other games like 100% of the time, they come over to WoW and they get a viewer rate instantly. Like all of their players, like it's interesting that all of their viewers happen to play WoW.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird. It's like, I don't know, it's interesting to me. Like maybe it's sort of all connected. Like this audience is all watching the same I don't know. It's interesting, and they weren't bad. Like they cleared the raids actually.
Yeah. What's crazy is that we've been seeing more marketing for these WoW for this expansion than I have seen more than in previous, right? And like I feel like more and more like quote unquote normies are getting like into the game, and they're like experiencing the game, and they want to like go back into WoW,
Oh,
so it's gonna pull all these new people in,
When we're talking about the classic kind of thing, right? There are a very high number of things that Blizzard is doing that are actually kind of taking the game backwards a little bit more like classic, right? With the return to buffs, a lot of the changes, even the marketing, right? Like you were saying. So they're marketing it based off Horde versus Alliance again, kind of like Orcs versus Humans, like the second game they ever released, right? Like I think they're really trying to get it to go back to the way it was. Because I think they realized, like, maybe having us fight demon lords and titans,
literal gods, is probably not sustainable. Like, where do we go from when you kill the gods? Are we just gods? And now what do we do? Like, who are we gonna kill next? We got a little too ahead of ourselves, And I think killing the Lich King was kind of aggressive as it is, and they're like, no, now you kill the dragon that could end the entire world, and now you do this, and now you're killing titans, and it's just like. Yeah. Which is why I think they even had artifacts in the first place, because they needed some way for it to make sense to give us all this power, and then
take it away.
It makes sense to take it away, right?
Yeah. So now we've been reduced back to the little fledglings that we were always, apparently, and we were just we just had this big ass weapon, and then we had to get rid of it, to get rid of the sword. Whatever. I'm not that interested in lore, but essentially they're doing a lot of things that are like vanilla. Make WoW great again. True. But yeah, the buffs. I like the buffs. I actually like the return to GCDs on a lot of cooldowns. People are like, it shows my class down, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, now you have to pay a GCD to Wings, and now you have to pay a GCD to use Sanctified Wrath and all this other things. But I don't even know that was the right cooldown. But anyways, my point is, like, I think it's good, right? It makes a lot more interesting choices. You shouldn't be able to hit a Swifty macro that has 15 buttons and things worked into it, and 2 trinkets and all your power ups and all these abilities, and then all of a sudden you just one shot something. Because Holy Priest doesn't have cooldowns, Kappa don't have to use any. All right, look, we did luck out. I'm really surprised they didn't put Desperate Prayer on the GCD when they put everybody else on the GCD. It seems odd, honestly. With it being a free spell and all too, it just seems really strong. Like it's still gonna be macroed and everything. I'm still gonna send it. Gonna send it.
So with all this return, like we're coming back. Like we're going back to the golden age of WoW, like quote unquote. But do you think that this is something that's sustainable? Like, are we gonna hit record numbers and then keep these numbers? Because I mean, the fall of WoW wasn't really players, it was more the Blizzard.
If they can keep people interested for a year and buy time for Classic and roll it into Classic, I actually have the highest hopes for Classic. I think 40 million people are gonna play. I seriously do. I think 4 times the player base. I think every fucking retired person that's not playing the game anymore, if even 10% of them come back, we could snag an easy 40 million.
I think this is such a perfect time for WoW to do what it's doing, because other MMOs are shutting down because they can't sustain, right?
It does seem so when he was saying about what Bruce was saying, I like that. The regular population doesn't even know, but I don't know how much earlier you want to advertise. Like they did advertisements a month before BFA, right? Maybe they should start advertisement maybe 3 months before Classic comes out, right? And they need to get everyone talking about it. Like this needs to become like a phenomenon, right? Like we don't need to advertise just yet, but 3 months beforehand, like just stop even caring about your current expansion. In my opinion, I would throw all my eggs in. If I was the advertisement, part of their company, I'd be like, it's Classic now. Like in about a year, modding 120 channels. Is he really? And 20 channels. Did he knows that he gets a green sword, But yeah, I think so like what you're saying, a lot of these changes are reflecting, in my opinion, some of the things people wanted from Classic. Buffs, slower gameplay, not all this one-shot stuff we've done.
And even the reset to item level feels good.
Yeah. We got the stat squish. We got the coefficient squish. We got like all that's left now to do is like a level squish, and it's gonna start feeling like the proper game. And you know what's funny? They had to nerf the leveling mobs because players were dying to them.
Which, funny enough, I just saw a tweet from the Blizzard account. Is this week, this patch that came out today?
Yeah.
The 40 to 100, it's easier now.
Yeah.
Because it was too hard.
Yeah, dude, they had to they I think the exact quote was something like, "We don't know how we broke the game. We just know we broke it, and we don't really know how to fix it. So we just made all mobs that are below level 100 and lower like 25% weaker."
Yeah.
And I thought that shit was the funniest because, in my opinion, they didn't break it. They fixed it. Like, wait, people are having a difficult time leveling? Wait, the enemies matter? You can't just charge them and 3-shot them and kill them? Oh, how fun. I thought this was going to be great. And then they fixed it, and I get back on my level 30 warrior, and I charge a zebra, and it instantly fucking dies again, and I'm like, and we're back to the same old shit. God forbid the zebra bites me a couple times before I slaughter it.
Yeah,
like,
I will say, like, as someone who's so new to WoW, like, I just jumped straight. I just hit the 110, and I was like, fucking dude, and then fucking went into that shit. So now I'm leveling a druid from 1 to 100. I think druid's gonna be my best healer because I'm learning every single spell, and I'm learning what all the specs do. I'm learning basically druid inside and out by leveling it, and I'm understanding the class. Whereas like all these other healers that I just boosted, I don't understand them, and there are spells that I'm still finding out that exist that I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know you could do this.
You wanted to say that were Hearthstone cards?
Yeah. Wait, which is crazy because I was telling Ron this yesterday. There are people that play Hearthstone that have never played WoW, and that'll probably never play WoW, right?
Blows my
mind.
That's
just like they're making games based on games, right?
It's true.
It's just insane to think about that we're at that point now. Like, that shows how big WoW is, right? And how much bigger it can get, Yeah. Because there's obviously a whole market, which is all the Hearthstone people that play. Like, I mean, these Hearthstone people already love to torture themselves with grinding and doing shit for hours on end. So why not do that in an MMO, with other people instead of by yourself? See, target, man. Target. It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Oh, so
easy money.
I want to talk about what I think is actually the best change so far in the pre-patch.
Well, and we'll finish off on that.
Okay. They removed templates for PvP. The best change ever. Because people are actually outside dueling now in outside cities and talking to each other.
Oh, dude. I saw that shit yesterday. When I was leveling, I turned on War Mode for the first time.
Yep.
Bro, that all outside of Orgrimmar, people just dueling.
People are dueling, they're fighting, they're having fun, they're trying out different builds, they're putting on different gear, they're swapping tips and advice.
Dude, yesterday, me and Folt, right? Folt was on his hunter, and I was on my druid, right? And so I kept on trying to duel Folt, and obviously kicking my ass because I can't do shit as a against him, right? And so we're just dueling, having fun, and then all of a sudden Folt goes, Benji, run! And then we turn, and there's a mage coming at us that's from Alliance, and I'm like, I don't see it, I didn't see it, and Folt's just like, run, Benji, run! And I'm like, where is it, Folt? Where is it? And Folt's all like, no! And right before we hit the no PvP area, he lets off on Arcane Blast. The Arcane Blast hits Folt. Folt feigns death, and then survives through it from a max level character. See, because what he did is that he the mage came up on us. Folt noticed him before he got anything off. Folt was it Frost Trap, right? Freezing trapped him there for a couple seconds. Then we took off, and then that's when he got one Arcane Blast off, and then Folt survived. And then he stuck around for a little bit longer, was taunting Folt by yelling, saying, "You got away this time, young lit."
See, the things you're saying is a normal story in vanilla. Like, us as a little group of 30s, the three of us, level 30s, we took on a level 60 mage, and it was like the greatest time of our life. This has never been possible for the longest time. Like, it actually kind of feels a little bit like vanilla WoW. Thoughts on War Mode for vanilla WoW to
I think
benefit streamers?
I think that should be a thing because because the game is gonna be so big, they're gonna people that are never gonna want to fight against others.
So, okay.
What do you think?
Are you talking about that comment?
Yeah.
So I've thought about this for a long time, actually, because I really want all my favorite streamers to actually play on a PvP realm, and what I've come to terms with is this is before I even thought that vanilla servers like were going to be a reality. I thought it needs to be exactly how it was before with absolutely no changes, because I think its ultimate purpose should serve as a museum. Like, it shouldn't replace WoW, right? It should serve as a museum to remind us where we came from, and hopefully they can fix the fucking game because they see all the cool shit we had before, right? Yeah. Like, and it needs to serve as sort of like a okay, what's one of your favorite old games, right?
Well, okay. Remember what I was telling you about? I never understood why you liked Vanilla WoW until I actually thought about what I felt when I first played League of Legends in seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Seasons 1 and 2 of League was my greatest online gaming experience ever. Okay. And the most fun I've ever had.
Say after this, you were able to pop in a disc into your computer and you could play season 1 of League of Legends.
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh, I would do it. I would call out of work and I would play it all night.
Yeah. That's all I would do.
Yeah.
Seasons 1, 2, and then even 3, 4, and 5, right?
Yeah.
I would play custom games, and I would actually play with people in normal.
Yeah.
I didn't care about rank.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed playing the game in like the normal quick play with friends. You know, because I felt like that was like the best time to play.
For 2 days straight, I played alone random queue as Heimerdinger, and my goal was to get 6 red turrets in a bush up top with Rally and Zonius. And I finally did it, and I 1v5'd, and then I was like, cool. What's the next strategy we're going to do? Like, I was like, what's the next thing we're going to do? Like, you don't have that with current League. But, I mean, we're getting off topic on League. But my point is, so Warcraft 3 was a great example. You could pop in Warcraft 3, and you could play it, and it's still as great as ever. Problem is, you can't just pop in vanilla and play it, right? Legally, at least. And so that's why it needs to stay the same. And I know everybody keeps like, now that it's a reality, which we never thought was going to ever happen. Everybody's like, well, shit, it's going to be so great, but what it actually needs is this. And each person has their own idea about what it actually needs. And the problem is, we just can't. We just can't. I think the streamers, it's honestly, it's just not fair to them if we change the game. And allow them an easier way. I personally think that if the streamers are really fast at leveling and they have kind of like, honestly, their own guards to back them up, that they'll have a more fun experience anyways. I mean, yeah, it'll almost always be a 40v40 and it's going to be a shit show, but I think it should be a shit show. Like, I want more than anything in the entire world.
I want those mass server raids to be a thing like Osmos keep on trying to pull off. But
when I play vanilla, I want to have my other monitor have Soda popping up here, fighting a 40v40 at like level 15, just trying to make his trying to level in the fucking Barons, and I want to hear him yelling like, "You fucking retard!" Like, you know, like that's what I want to hear. I mean,
stuffed mic shit.
It's crazy to me that like all these streamers are pushing out and they're like, yeah, I'm probably just gonna live in PvE. I mean, maybe they're trying to throw off people, and they're like, if Blizzard, had some way to implement it to where like we didn't get ganked all the time, like, no, that is vanilla WoW. The example you were saying, right? Where you're talking about this story, and like you can see her eyes light up and how happy you are to tell us this dumb story about a mage just walking up and trying to attack you, right?
Yeah.
That was WoW. We fought, like, that was the major thing. It was we were versus the Alliance.
Yeah.
Like, now people are experiencing World PvP for the first time, and they're like, what is this? This is such a great idea. I can't believe they thought of this. It's like, no, that we did have that. We lost it. Now we're kind of getting it back.
Yeah.
So I think it's great.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap up here. We've hit an hour exactly, which is perfect because that's what we want the podcast to be, a minimum or at most an hour long.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. So we are going to be posting the podcast hopefully once a week, and it'll either be posted on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Why do I give that such a big time?
It's 3 out of 7.
It's going to be crazy. But somewhere on those 3 days, we'll be recording, posting this. We do appreciate you guys for watching, for sticking around. I'm going to include chat on the podcast. Yes. I need to find out how to do that. But
my second favorite mod.
We're gonna have the VOD up. This is gonna be uploaded to our YouTube, so you guys can share this with other people.
Ooh.
And then be sure to follow Brian on Twitter and get his ass to tweet, because he has so many thoughts in his head, right? And he just tells them to 10 people, but he needs to tell the world.
I only have thoughts in my head, though.
Yeah, you need to type that shit out. Brian, shut the fuck up. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week. Watch your phones for that notification.
Oh, your phones, huh?
Check it out. We'll be having guests.
You got a lot of messages there.
We're going to be talking about more stuff in WoW, things related to WoW. Whatever. We just want to make this as entertaining as possible.
It's going to get really high on the friendly family, algorithms.
Family friendly.
Yeah.
And we're a Christian channel.
The Guild Untitled. Look at that. Oh, no, hey, we no, that's not fair, dude. They stole They actually stole it from us. Yeah.
They stole our name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you, and I'll see you next week. Come here, Keegan. Come here, buddy. See you by another podcast.
Oh, is this where I'm supposed to stop it?
Yeah. Hold on, Keegan.
Okay. I'll stop the recording.